Good evening. It is 6 o'clock on August 26th. This is the regular board meeting for the Vernon Hills Board of Commissioners. Could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Kessler,
Here.
Commissioner Senti,
Here.
Commissioner Robbins,
Here.
Commissioner Moline.
Here.
President Dorhoeffer.
Here, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America.
and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered, oh,
Special meeting.
you want to do those special meetings first? Okay. My
you.
apologies. First item on the agenda is citizens wishing to address the board. Jeff, have we received any questions or emails to our address?
None.
All right, new business, supplemental budget and appropriation hearing. The supplemental budget and appropriation hearing for fiscal year 2021-22 is now open. In accordance with Illinois state law, the budget and appropriation ordinance has been made conveniently available for 30 days prior to this budget hearing. Notice of the public hearing was published in the newspaper of general circulation, the Chicago Tribune, on August 12, 2021. The combined annual budget and appropriation ordinance appropriates any monies that are necessary to cover the projected expenses and liabilities the district may incur in its next budget year, June 1st, 2021 through May 31, 2022. This ordinance must be passed and approved within or before the first quarter of the fiscal year. Is there anyone who would like to come forward with any comments or questions for the board concerning the proposed fiscal budget 2021-2022 supplemental budget and appropriation ordinance? Seeing that no one has here, there being no questions from the audience or further board discussion, the supplemental budget and appropriation hearing is now closed. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Senti,
Here.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Moline,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer.
Yes. Now, if we could go into our regular session, call to order for the regular board meeting dated August 26, 2021.
Commissioner Robbins,
Here.
Commissioner Moline,
Here.
Commissioner Kessler,
Here.
Commissioner Senti.
Here.
President Dorhoeffer.
Here, we move on to the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items included for the omnibus vote agenda this evening are the minutes of the regular board meeting dated July 22nd, 2021, minutes of the special board meeting dated August 10th, 2021, minutes of the special board meeting dated August 19th, 2021, minutes of the closed session dated August 19th, 2021, payables and payroll through August 26, 2021 in the amount of $766,623.70. Could I have a motion to approve the omnibus vote agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Moline,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Senti,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the welcome to visitors public comment period. We will move to recognition of Team USA Olympic representatives. This evening, we have the privilege of having Brian Mertel and Nicole Sladkoff. Sorry about that. Join us. So Nicole, if you could join me up at the podium, please. Can you hear me? This plaque says the Vernon Hills Park District would like to recognize Nicole Sladkoff for her achievements as an Olympic athlete competing with the United States Rhythmic Gymnastics Team, presented August 26, 2021.
Picture over here, see Cheryl.
Yeah, let's go over here.
See
has been my home since day one. I actually became an elite rhythmic gymnast right here in this gym with my mother's company. And yeah, I've been training here for over 5+ years, and all the hard work and dedication and all the support that I've gotten from the staff, from the school, from Aspen to Vernon Hills High School, that's what got me here. That's what got me to the Olympics. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, if you'd like to come join me, please. The Vernon Hills Park District would like to recognize Brian Mertel for his achievements as an Olympic coach with the United States Karate Team, presented August 26, 2021.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was an honor to be part of Team USA, especially the time that everyone's going through. It was really a privilege. I think it was amazing to see the athletes, after the long wait, get to do what they do. And I think it was great for all the people that are inspired by the Olympics and the people who work so hard to get there. So for it to go on and be part of it was amazing. So I got my start in karate as a 6-year-old here in Vernon Hills at the Park District program. I'm still part of that program as an instructor, and you know it shaped my life in a way that I never could have imagined. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, John, do you want to say, this is John?
Yeah, John.
And we want to take some pictures. Yeah.
I have a big mouth, but not so. Board members, park staff, the reason why I came today was, I was thinking about Brian's journey, because he said from a 6-year-old to being a U.S. team member to being a U.S. coach, and the fact that he works here and trains some of the athletes here is amazing. And I work with 73 other park districts, all the ones in the area from Londonhurst to Mundelein to Libertyville, you name it. You know, we have our program there. And I gotta say that I think Vernon Hills is one of the best districts for a lot of reasons. Number one, I think Mr. Frugio has assembled a great staff here. And that's Mr. Ritter, Mr. Bowman, everybody I deal with, including the front desk girls, are amazing. We've had a couple special events here, and I heard from numerous parents how polite the people were. And I can tell you from working in a lot of facilities that isn't the case. And I also want to give a special shout out to the board for the good work you did to try to keep the facilities open. I know it's a challenge with COVID. It's, you know, it's moving around, but the facilities are always nice, they're always clean, and I just think you're doing a great job. And kudos again to Mr. Frugio and his staff, and to the board for all you do for the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bring Nicole and Brian up. Just come behind the dais.
Yeah.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to get a photo with the board back here. If you want to just, yeah, we'll just, that's good. You guys stay right here, and then I'm gonna bring Brian and Nicole back right in between all of you. We can get a photo. Cheryl will get a photo. Yep. Have her come in here. Brian, if you come in, either side of Dave here, and I'm gonna get out of the way. Yep. And let you guys.
We're the bid players.
Everybody smile. Sorry.
Yeah, smile. Smile with your eyes.
I'm glad I have this plaque. I never know what to do with my hands.
And you can talk during the picture, nobody knows.
I got it.
Oh, they know.
I'll stand the rest of the meeting.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Bye-bye. Congratulations.
Nicole, what's the name of the group you started with? Your mother runs, you said?
Yeah, I'm in that Rhythmic Academy.
And it's still running now?
It is, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Good night.
I had the privilege of watching her on my phone. We were out to dinner with some of her old classmates. And I'll tell you, I don't know how the hell they do what they do. It was amazing. Financial reports for the period ending July 31st, 2021. Marla, any changes to the financial reports as on file?
Nope, as on file.
Very good. Unfinished business, we have none. New business, ordinance 5-21, an ordinance creating a supplemental combined annual budget and appropriation funds necessary to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the Vernon Hills Park District, Lake County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning June 1, 2021, and ending May 31, 2022. Could I have a motion to approve ordinance 5-21?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Senti?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes, next item on the agenda, the 2021 ADA Transition Plan Update. James, could you give us an update for the plan, please?
Yes, I can. I'll start from the beginning. In 2011, we adopted an ADA transition plan for all of our parks, park amenities, and our facilities. So this is just a 10-year review. Part of this transition plan included properties and capital projects that were since 2011. That's 19 properties. I'll list them off for the public. The Deer Path Park renovation, the tennis and pickleball courts, the ball field renovations, the Kids Castle playground, path and the unisex restroom. At Century Park South were some path improvements, parking lot improvements and restroom, the Sullivan Center skate park, the recent Hartman Park fitness stations, and then many playground renovations since 2011. They include Aspen Backyard, Westwood, the preschool playground for Sullivan Center, the 5 to 12-year-old Deer Path playground at Warrington, Kelly Garvanian, Stone Fence, the Grosse Point Upper Ball Field Playground, Augusta 2 to 5-year-old playground, Peterson Park, Hawthorne Club, Rainey, Donnelly, the 2 to 5-year-old at Kitty Corral, and then the Lakeview Little Learners Childcare. The auditor, which was through Williams Architect, uses the American Disabilities Act Accessibility Guideline, as well as the Illinois Accessibility Code to check for standards for slopes of paths, path accessibilities, parking lot stalls, parking lot accessibility, accessible restroom amenities, and playgrounds in general. Good news, overall, our district has very few concerns with respects to accessibility to our park amenities. A lot of the issues that I'm going to point out next are very common with our parks industry because we have so many water detention and retention areas. Three issues that we've seen continuously, even in the 2011 report, are path issues because of slopes outside the standard and then gaps within the path, usually it's from settling. A lot of our parking lots without curbs or detectable warning systems for paths entering vehicular traffic. So those are the ground-mounted bumpy for blind people to know that they're entering a vehicular area and to be cautious. And we only had one playground, which I will mention, that did not comply with the 2012 standard, but every other playground has. Two issues that I feel that we need to at least put out in the open. One is very minor, but still nonetheless a fairly large issue. The unisex restroom at Kids Castle, the sidewalk entrance to the door has a gap taller than a half an inch. And so we feel that the sidewalk has settled while the foundation for the restroom never did. For right now, easy solution is to grind down the foundation for the restroom to at least give a better transition, but eventually we will have to pull the sidewalk out, pin it to the foundation, and re-pour the sidewalk so that it doesn't move anymore. Let me rephrase that. It will move if the foundation for the restroom moves, which we've seen hasn't happened in 4 years. The other more significant issue is Augusta Park, just in general. The path leading down to the detention area off of Augusta is well outside the ADA standard. And then many sections of the playground from 1999 has a non-compliant transfer platform as well as many other non-compliant design. It's from 1999. The most recent update was from 2012, and so things have come a long way. One suggestion that we have thrown out in our capital improvement is to move the playground up to the top of the hill, closer to the Family Aquatic Center. Not near, but in that direction. And the path, they suggest either creating a switchback system, which literally just goes back and forth, and then you have to go back and forth up the hill. Another suggestion was to put a bridge that connects the two hills. Talking with Williams, they feel that the bridge is actually less costly than a switchback system times two, but from aesthetics and from a long-term liability, it's probably worse. The one point he had to make was, if one park out of 22 is inaccessible, I think we're doing pretty good. And so consideration should be still made for the playground to be moved out of the detention area as it constantly holds water. Williams provided a cost estimate for some of the minor issues. Their estimate of $53,600 was to make many of the issues shown, except for Augusta Park, make right. And Jeff and I are working with Marla and Finance to look to take some of that out of the special rec levy each year and just chip away at it until we're complete, and then we'll do this all over in 10 years. And so that is all. If there's any questions.
Any questions for James? Could I have a motion to adopt
Dave,
20?
I have-
Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Robbins.
Okay, so, James, the estimate, the 53,600, that is fixing the path issues, the parking lots with stalls without curbs, and the unisex restroom at Kids Castle? Is that right?
Yes. So the path is at all those parks listed, and there's a lot of minor issues, some major issues, meaning the gaps are too wide, but yes, overall, 53,600.
Okay, so regarding Augusta Park, what do we, I would think that would be substantial, what needs to be done. What's happening with that? Do we just kick the can down the road and do we come up with a certain plan on when we're gonna do this? Do we have to do this?
So Augusta Playground is up for replacement in 3 years on our capital improvement plan. I feel that since 1 out of 22 parks is not accessible, I think that's doing better than a lot of other districts. So at this point, I feel that we should just leave the park as is and then look to remove the playground and relocate at the top of the hill in 3 or 4 years. That cost is roughly $300,000 to $400,000. Seems steep, but there's excavation, there's drainage, there's stone, curb. You're just putting a brand-new playground in a new space. We also kind of recommend a path connecting Aspen to Augusta path through the field as a cut-through, so we can somewhat eliminate the need to go through Augusta.
Say it again, please.
Putting in a new path between the Augusta path and Aspen Drive through the field, closer to the houses.
Yeah. Commissioner Sente.
Thank you. James, I'm okay with us deferring that until because it's such a substantial cost. Unless, have we had anyone from the public that has any type of disability reach out to us regarding that park?
That park, no, never. We do get a lot of calls about the icing conditions for the walkway because we can't plow it. It's too dangerous for us to go down in there. And so we have posted path closed or use at your own caution when going up and down. I will say a lot of kids cut through there to get home, a lot of kids. So I think this is something our district should look into soon, maybe even a little later, but not ignored forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Have we, it is dangerous in winter. Have we had any accidents?
None have been reported to us, but I'm sure there's been a lot of near or possibly have been and just never been brought to our attention.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Can I have a motion to adopt the 2021 ADA transition plan?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Senti?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is reports and communications. First up is Facility Manager Lacey Velasquez.
Thank you and good evening. Facility attendance at Lakeview Fitness continues to grow. Over the course of the month of July, we actually increased by 886 visits from the previous month. So it's encouraging to continue to see attendance grow. In observance of Labor Day, Lakeview Fitness will be open shortened hours, will be open from,
Pull it closer to you, please. With the mask on, it's a little hard to hear.
is that better?
No, pull it closer to you, Lacey.
Yeah,
Is that better?
that's better.
Okay. Do you want me to start over?
Nope, we're good.
Okay. In observance of Labor Day, Lakeview Fitness will be open shortened hours. We will be open from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday, September 6th. For programming, Mighty Kids Triathlon took place on August 8th, and it was an extremely successful event. To my memory, I believe it is our highest attended from previous years. We had 152 registered participants. Our top male and female finishers in each age group received a $50 gift card courtesy of Dick's Sporting Goods. Congratulations to all of our participants and their great effort. We also want to give a special thank you to our 25-plus volunteers that came out and made the event such a success. We had community members that came out and volunteered. We had Park District staff and 2 of our board members. Thank you to Commissioners Meline and Robbins who were out on the day of the event. We really appreciate it. Fall session for swim lessons and swim team begin the week of September 6th. And we have a couple programs we have our virtual group exercise classes that continue to run. So Ann McKenna will continue teaching her virtual group exercise classes. And we have Hatha Yoga coming back with Vidya Nahar, which has been on hiatus since the start of COVID. So she's coming back in the fall. For personal training, we welcomed a new personal trainer. His name is Jesse. He started this past week, so we're excited to have him on the team. And starting in September, we will have free Sundays for the whole month, so our community members are welcome to come out and use Lakeview Fitness for free every Sunday in the month of September. And that is all I have. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Lacey? Thank you very much, Lacey. Next item on the agenda is Marketing Communication Manager Cheryl Buman. Cheryl?
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Staff is working on our winter spring program guide. This is a new guide we're doing. We've never combined those two. It will be printed. Our program guide is currently out to bid, so we'll be probably using a new printer come November for this. So the whole year, just to recap, we're going to be doing a winter spring. We'll be doing a digital summer camp, but then that will be put into a printed summer book. We just want to offer the camp earlier in the season so parents can get a look at it. And then we'll be doing a fall. So we're looking forward to going back to print and working with a new printer. Our Key to the Parks challenge ended the first week of August. We had 49 kids participate. They visited a minimum of 10 parks. They sent us loads of wonderful pictures of them visiting the parks, and we gave each child a key. Actually, of a keychain that was in the shape of our mascot, Sully, with an actual play key attached to it. So we're thinking of ideas for our fall challenge. It was so well received, and so we're going to be doing something this fall, something to do with trees, we think, in the parks. Social media was really increased over the past month. Largely due to RibFest, and we had a lot of photos for our Key to the Parks challenge. But we had engagements were 5.6. That's an average overall, and then that's what we did. The national average is about 1%. So we really did very well over the past month with communicating to our public with social media. As far as our website, there's been some new pages added. All of our pages are updated with ActiveNet links. And we also, I had a statistic from when I was looking back a year ago. So in the past year, we've increased our users by 10,000. So that's big. So last month, we had 21,000 users visit our website, and we had 88,000 plus unique page views in just 30 days. So there's a lot of people on our website, which is nice. And I just gave you a rundown of just all the different type of marketing we did for RibFest. You could just take a look at that. And that's all I have for this month. It was a busy month with RibFest.
Commissioner Sente?
Cheryl, I was just wondering the change with the brochure. Did I understand correctly, that's more so we can have something separate and earlier in September, or is that generally a change in the industry?
A lot of park districts have been doing a winter, spring for many years. Our programs from winter to spring, we have, a lot of them are similar. They're just new sessions. But there's a big difference from spring to summer because now the kids are out of school. And so we wanted to just combine those two because a lot of the programs are continuing on from our vendors, and the parents can just kind of see what they want to continue on. But there's such a big change, you know, with kids being out of school. We have camps, we've got mini camps, we've got sports camps, the aquatic center. And we're thinking of what should we do with summer camp. So it was so well received going early online with us sending out a postcard and letting people know that our summer camp program is online. So we are going to do that again, but that entire summer camp that's going to be online will be put into a printed summer book, still well in advance of any type of registration.
Thank you.
Commissioner Kessler?
So my question is more about the virtual program guide versus the print one. And the fact that people are going to our website is a good draw. I mean, obviously we didn't do a print, so that's kind of training people to go to our site. Do we have a feel if people would rather do virtual, do a virtual program versus a print one?
Well, we didn't survey our community. However, we chose not to because many other districts were doing it. And it was all the same answers. People really do want the book. So since our surrounding areas and just in the Chicagoland area, many park districts did put that short survey out and they shared it with the rest of us, we made our decision on that. And our previous community survey we did, people did say that they do like the printed book.
Thank you.
Yeah, the feedback I've heard is people like to go flip page to page. They got multiple kids. They want to look what days programs are going. They want to flip back and forth. And
So
a little harder to do
I
online.
agree because that's how we did it, but I guess I'm just wondering if trends have changed and if people are coming to our site and can we do things to make our site, and that goes back to how do we make our site really user-friendly and get the information and be able to flag different things and look at a variety of different programs. You know, I think I still kind of would love to push more towards higher tech website as far as being able to register and things like that. But yeah, if people still want print, then of course do that. I just try to save trees and all of that kind of stuff.
No, I
and the
agree.
expense, if people don't need it or don't want it, and I don't know if there's a way to be efficient on that. But if that's what they want, then I'm good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Park Superintendent James Kim. James?
Good evening. I'll, some short points. So if there's any questions about trees in our parks, please contact the Parks Department. Century Park and Deer Path in particular, there will be some significant scenery changes as large bulks of trees are going to be removed. Some of them due to the microburst we had a couple weeks ago. Some of them because of the windstorms since then have just taken down branches, and we feel that it's just time to remove some of them. Century Park Big Bear Lakes, after many people calling and emailing, we contracted out the entire lake to be treated. And so it is looking much clearer as of last Thursday, and it's only going to get better. From here on out, I will introduce a line item in every budget to have the treatment done. Century Park Playground, everything has been removed. The contractor is scheduled to be on site tomorrow, and we still anticipate a Labor Day weekend opening. Lashon Tennis Courts, just really want to thank you to Rust-Oleum and Executive Director Jeff Fugero for securing needed supplies to get it going. There is an acrylic shortage in many industries, not just tennis court or court painting. And so they actually were out today surveying, and they're going to be out tomorrow to start putting down the color coding. We're still looking at a Labor Day weekend.
Like, there you go, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, I get it.
And that would be the Lashon Tennis Courts / Pickle Courts.
That, Lashon Tennis Pickle, yes, that is a correction.
Thank you.
I'll skip that. A couple items that didn't make it on my reports today, actually, was starting the first construction process for the Lakeview Fitness Center addition. The contractor came out to do 7 borings of the site, 4 in the new foundation for the new wing, and then 3 for under the parking lot. I was out there. It's very beneficial to do this. They found some silt, and they found some wet clay, and they found hard clay, which was really good for a foundation. The parking lot the borings look great. So I think a lot of settling issues those issues will be non-existent. North Shore Gas contacted me. They are asking for permission, which I did give them, to improve their natural gas line at the Grosse Pointe ComEd right-of-way path between Route 45 and Grosse Pointe Boulevard. It's just the one, not even quarter-mile section between Grosse Pointe Boulevard and Route 45. They're looking to repair and replace some existing natural gas lines. No dates have been set. They're still in contracts with ComEd to make sure all contracts are signed and all liabilities are waived. They are not looking to demo or path in any way. They just want to make us aware so that we can tell patrons to stop using that path for about 2 weeks. When there's more information, we'll have it on our website and social media. And then lastly, there's a soccer tournament coming up at the VHAC, Labor Day tournament, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 23 fields are being used between VHAC, the high school, and the old American Hotel Registry properties. Currently, there is no need to be outside of that property, so nothing's going to be on our properties as a park district. There's still another week full of registration, so that could change. But as of right now, they're staying at the VHAC, high school, and American Hotel Registry. So if people see an influx of people in and around Vernon Hills, that is probably one of the reasons why. And that concludes my report. If there's any questions.
Any questions for James on his report? Thank you, James. Next item on the agenda is the National Fitness Campaign. James, would you like to fill us in on this, please?
Is the clicker up there? I'll kind of ask the board first. I'll just quick overview for the.
Can you turn on the microphone?
A quick overview for the residents out there. This is a state program initiative put by many of the agency in the bottom right corner, called IPRA and IPRF, which is IPRF is our foundation. They are looking to enhance fitness across the United States, and so this is a fitness module that they are proposing for Illinois IPRF members. There is no going away from design. This is really what they're selling. We walked around Century Park as part of our park tour, and we looked at some spots. We had some discussions on whether or not a single large fitness area or continue to stay with the trail system was desired, and we're still in discussion. So I will flip to nothing. So New Lenox put one in, Oak Brook put one in, Hoffman Estates put one in 2 years ago, and then LaGrange, the Park District of LaGrange put one in recently, opening. And so if there is a desire for this, maybe we should either get some footage from them, or we can take a tour. But I would like to know if the board is interested in this grant program at this time, or if this is something we should look even in the future. Or if the board would like us to get renderings from a landscape architect to compare a single fitness station somewhere on the south side of Century Park, opposite of the cricket pitch one, or continue with the trail fitness system. So if there's any questions or comments?
Are they mutually exclusive?
Well, we can't do that, we can do both, but you can't separate this
Right.
into the trail.
Right, but we can do both if we choose.
Yes, you can. The grant funding is about 25 to 35,000, and then the organization, the National Fitness Campaign, will assist us in finding sponsorship to come up with the other 120, 15 to 20, 30,000.
And what's that sponsorship look like?
A lot of hospitals, a lot of large corporations, a lot of small mom and pop fitness areas. They suggested Barefit, which I said no to that right away. Had we not had a fitness center, that probably would have been a good one.
Are they organizations we typically go to for our other fundings, or would this be a new
They
group?
would work with our park district to see who we've used in the past, and then look demographically out to see who else there is. We've never worked with Condell necessarily, and a lot of hospitals do promote fitness, especially in this kind of setting. And so that would be one that they would reach out immediately to.
I think it'd be a good idea for us to tour or on your own. You know, we've given you a list of references of where they've already installed this, this equipment, to, take a look at it yourself and maybe get a good optic and see if this is something that that piques your interest in looking at it, because it's a pretty large scale platform. And so you have to pick it up and kind of visualize, I'm gonna pick this 30 by 30 slab of, outdoor equipment. And it's different. It's different than your standard, features that we got on the north end of the park by the cricket pitch. So anyways, that's, you're 150K all in versus, for example, the outdoor equipment that we just put in at Hartman Park was about an investment of about 20 grand for those 5 stations. So that gives you maybe a little difference on it.
James, help me understand. I'm looking at this and I'm not seeing a ton of equipment, so I'm assuming the big cost is concrete?
Foundation concrete, the concrete sidewalk around it. They are accounting for prevailing wage in Illinois and construction costs for Illinois, which I made that a point of. We're different than Indiana or Ohio or even California. The back is stainless steel, so there's some steel cost there. And really, they're trying to sell a product as a whole, so I think that's where the cost really comes in. The more money we raise, or more money they help us raise, the better their grant program turns out as well. We still have to contribute minimally 25.
What is the blue surface?
Those are surface tiles. Those are poured and plate tiles.
Board and play tiles, so porous.
I don't think we've ever had them here in this district.
Commissioner Sente.
Thank you. I would like the address of the Hoffman Estates and the Oak Brook Park District, please. I'd like to, I think we should at least go a step further to investigate it. I wanted to know, so I love the idea of a vendor we don't go to normally in a hospital being connected, because I think there is an advantage to them as well. And they are a close hospital and a trauma one, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, hospital. Are we on the hook if we collectively can't raise that amount of money? Do they talk about how likely it is? Because if we have to pay 20 or 25,000 versus 100, something closer to 150, obviously that makes a huge difference.
It's the timeline, so if we wanted to put this in, let's say June of '22, and that was our, and we are not moving from that timeline, we would have to contribute, or we continue to push it out until we get enough funding.
Okay.
That's their big. Three of them are opening up this year, so they haven't found issues finding funding
Okay.
from certain industries, as he would say. So I think if we weren't in a pandemic, I think there'd be a lot more people willing to put their logo on the back. That's what's visible to Hawthorne Parkway and Lakeview Parkway.
Okay. And then, Jeff, just wondering if we could get a little bit of maybe usage satisfaction information from the park districts too? You know, if it's up and, I mean, how successful is it versus other amenities that people can use in their parks? Thank you.
I'm not sure if this is a vendor that is going to be exhibiting at the NRPA show. You would think they might be. I can check into that too. I don't
That's
know
a
if you
great
know, James,
idea.
if they are or not.
He has made mention they have had pieces, not the entire thing, at past ones, but I don't remember them 2 years ago in Baltimore.
I think the other thing, just on the flip side of this too, is with, you all know that Grosse Pointe has an outdoor fitness station that has to come out by October 1. So we're gonna be removing that, and from a staff's perspective, our priority would be to make sure we put something in place of, because people do use that. So versus Century Park, which already has, you know, something on the north end, we wanna make sure that Grosse Pointe gets taken care of first before we get into this. So we have the funds allocated to do that, and so we're gonna be, you know, working on that. That's a smaller just pad that we're gonna put next to the basketball court, James told me tonight. That's our plan there, so.
And it sounds like we can just accommodate that with the timing if we did like this idea.
I don't think this platform would work there right now in terms of the timing of it, that we wanna.
And, visibility, exposure. Not a lot of people go down Grosse Pointe Boulevard to cut through 83, let's say. There's just neighborhood people.
Commissioner Kessler?
So I too would be interested in seeing it in person and seeing how it looks.
Okay.
Have we reached out to the other park districts on how easy this company was to work with? Any feedback on?
Yeah, they were surprised at how well they were able to get sponsors, especially their hospital. But they weren't surprised because hospitals really are promoting this. They don't have already a fitness center adjoining to their hospital, so they can do some PT. I use the word hospital constantly, but that's really the three park districts I talked to, big, Alexian
Do
Brothers.
we know how much did they, or do we know, did they do
70
the?
to 90,000.
Okay, because again, since we have such great partners for so many other programs, I would not like to dip into that same pot over and over again. So if there's new ones that they can suggest, that I think I would be open to hearing all of that.
Okay. We can certainly get addresses and exact locations for all the properties.
Commissioner Robbins?
James, do we have the option to defer doing this until we see how much money we raise? Or do we have to say, okay, we're doing it, and now we go out to our partners?
You have to sign a contract with them basically, and then they'll go out. And if it takes 2.5, 3 years, then it takes 2.5, 3 years. They have a team, and they're fairly good at it because they've got money for 3 park districts this year.
So we could just go as long as we want
I
until
don't
we,
know how long, because the first person
2 or 3
sponsoring-
years is a long time.
It is. I mean, if someone wants to sponsor it at 20,000 in February of next year, they're not gonna wanna cut a check and not see something till end of '23. So there's some timing that needs to be played out as well.
So I guess my question to the board is, historically, Vernon Hills Park District has not put a lot of advertising up in our parks. I can think of one exception, and that's the sign to Kids Castle limo service. Other than that, I can't think of anything we've done, whether it's signs on fences at ball fields or any other signs. Is this something that the board would want to pursue, knowing that we're opening up potentially to going to advertisements and another revenue source?
You do have it, Dave, at Kids Castle. We had a fence company Derby Fence, that donated the fence. We basically put a stone plaque in for them.
Right.
But beyond that, and what you just, mentioned with Base Limousine, that was a, heavy contributor to Kids Castle. Those are the only two of significance in our parks. And we do have, we have ordinances that protect us and kind of prohibit from having signs all along our ball fields, et cetera. So that would need board approval if you wanted to advance something like that.
So I guess I'm just trying to get a consensus of the board. Is this something we want to, because if that's something we don't want to deviate from, then there's no sense even going down this path. Commissioner Robbins?
I would not be in favor of that.
Okay. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the opposite side of this wall is going to have a bunch of advertisements.
It's gonna have the big sponsors, so if Condell, they'll have their logo. If they're the biggest sponsor, they'll be in the middle, biggest fonts, and then you'll have people on the sides with smaller fonts.
Yeah, I was trying to look for a photo of actually that wall facing, I'm not quite seeing it, I'm seeing the inside of the wall.
Yeah, we had one previously in one of the pamphlets or flyers that was sent out.
Go here.
Oh, there is the,
There it is back there, yep.
there's the locations. And then there's the back.
That's really not very gaudy or, for lack of a better word. I think that's very professional looking. I think if we stay within something like that, I don't see why it would be an issue. If we can put this in and give the community $100,000 worth of product, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm looking at a different one, Mike, and this one's a little more gaudy, but I think we would probably
Well, we would have
some
to just control it a
ability
little
to
better, yeah.
control what it looked like.
Now, they did their park district in the village, so that helps, the visual at least.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure it's one of the places they would want to go is to the village to.
And for Oak Brook, the village in-kind service was the concrete. They went out, got the concrete, their village staff did the concrete work, so that was an in-kind on their part.
Commissioner Sente?
In response to your question, President Dorhofer, because you asked us, I'd like to see the amenities first and do some research before I would decide, because if we're not going to do this, then I don't think we have to address the sign issue. But if we do, I think then we need to have a sign policy. I would echo what Commissioner Moline said. If it is done tastefully, these logos were in white, and it would bring additional amenities to the public that we cannot afford, or it's a partnership. I think that is a trade-off. I would be okay with just having worked with YMCA's for decades. They have a huge history of using donations to bring more amenities to the public. And I've seen some tasteful things done that way that could never have been provided. So I guess I'm a little bit more leaning to I would be open to it.
Okay. Commissioner Blaine, thoughts?
I think I already told you, I would be okay as long as it was,
That's
I
fine.
like your word better, tasteful. As long as it's done tastefully, I don't have a problem with advertising.
Commissioner Kessler?
I'm open to seeing what it could look like. I also question how many, like here, there's 3 of them that looks, the hospital, the park district, and the village. I mean, it looks nice. If it became, we needed to have 20 different vendors or organizations sponsoring it, and it looked too much advertisement, I would have a little more concern of that. So there's so many variables that we don't know of how, will we have one person or one organization to really sponsor it? And I guess we won't know until we sign it. And so I would almost, let's go look, figure out if we really even want it, and then maybe we could, if that's the course, we could, you know, maybe do a little preliminary research to know how likely it is we would get a sponsorship.
I'll follow up on the user satisfaction with my colleagues, but I would encourage you, if you have, you know, some time. I'm 10 minutes from the Oak Brook facility. I can take some video footage and send it to you if you don't want to make the trek, and share that with you. If you want to see it for your own personal benefit, that's obviously speaks volumes. I mean, you can get it, you know, you can get a firsthand look at it. It's different. It's definitely different, unique than some of the other.
Sounds like a field trip.
Do we mean Oak Brook just because it isn't on this map? Oh,
Oak Lawn,
that
okay,
does make a
that's different.
difference.
I'm not close to Oak Lawn.
Me either.
Let's go a little further.
Okay.
Right
Yeah.
on the way.
Yeah, the
Hoffman's
Grange is right there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can get the addresses of these, we can go check them out, that'd be great. Any other questions for James? Very good, thank you, James. Next item on the agenda, HR Risk Manager, Jessica Mitchell. Jessica?
Thank you and hello.
Hello.
On the HR front, much of HR efforts have been spent trying to fill the open positions that we have at the district, and currently we have the PAL supervisor, instructor, and childcare part-time position, customer service reps both at Lakeview and Sullivan, and then aquatic staff also at Lakeview's indoor pool. Also, the community volunteer management is continuing for the district to develop. We were happy to have 11 volunteers from the community for RibFest. We had, Lacey had mentioned 25 volunteers for Mighty Kids Triathlon. 16 of those were community volunteers. And tomorrow we'll have some community volunteers for Movies in the Park. So we just really thank the public and the community for taking extra steps to help us be able to run these programs and events. On the safety side, the district continues to stay up to date with the Lake County Health Department and other local authorities like the governor mandates and CDC recommendations for COVID. The latest change will be implemented this Monday on August 30th with Governor Pritzker's state masking mandate. And this requires all individuals over the age of 2, regardless of vaccination status, to wear a mask in indoor public settings. We will go ahead and enforce that in district facilities, and we will also work with those individuals who are unable to wear masks because of medical condition or sincere held religious beliefs with reasonable accommodations. The Safety Committee will meet September 2nd for our monthly meeting. And lastly, I want to thank the Vernon Hills Police Department and Countryside Fire District for all their help with RibFest and helping us have a safe event, and they spent some hours beyond just being at the event helping us prep for it. Any questions?
Any questions for Jessica? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Recreation Superintendent Tom Ritter. Tom?
Good evening. Before I give my report, I just wanted to give a district-wide thank you at every level for the support to the rec team for RibFest. It was great. The volunteers Jessica just referenced, park staff, administration, all the way through. The Village of Vernon Hills, tremendous support. Knights of Columbus, Lions Club. Sure, I'm leaving some people out, but it was a great year. One of our strongest overall Rib Fests between attendance, revenue, et cetera, that we've had. So thanks to everybody. Preschool, with school starting, our preschool starts slightly later. We start on Wednesday, September 8th, following Labor Day and Rosh Hashanah respectively. Just to give some perspective, our enrollment for that program is typically in that 100 range, 90 to 100 children. And during COVID, we had 47, understandably, and we're at 73. So as we would expect, not to be back to, normal per se, but to go from 47 back to 73, we're on the road to community confidence, both in getting back out as well as trusting that we can safely supervise and educate their kids. So, and the part I was most pleased with is the fact that we've always had a 2-year-old program with about a dozen kids, and we didn't even have that last year during COVID, but this year we have 11, so it's almost fully rebounded in 1 year. So happy to see that. We have 3 free events coming up in the next about 30 days or so. Tomorrow night is our final free movie in the park at Deer Path. It starts at about 8 o'clock when it's dark enough, and we are showing a movie called The Croods, A New Age. I think it's called A New Age. It's the second Croods movie, a good family film. September 11th is a Saturday from 11 to 1. We'll be holding our annual Worldwide Day of Play, which we've done for many years. It's a national campaign to get people outdoors, families together, and away from any electronics. So we do a lot of traditional things like potato sack races, hula hoop contests, treasure hunts, egg tosses, and leave other games that people can just play at their own free will. Some things organized, some things not organized, so they can just go out and play. And if the weather is supportive, it's usually just under 200 people attend this event. No registrations required. People can just show up. September 28th, on a Tuesday night, we'll be doing a Go Vernon Hills walk. Yeah, some of the walks are better attended than others, but we always have a very strong attendance at our Glow Walk. It's pretty simple and straightforward, but when they show up, we provide glow sticks for everybody. So when everybody walks together for about a half an hour with their children and their pets, it's a very fun event, and it starts at 6:45 on the 28th. We ask people to show up a few minutes early to get their glow sticks. Just takes a little while to distribute. And it's another event that registration is not necessary. And I'll reach a little bit farther out for one event for people's calendars. Friday, October 15th, we'll be holding our family trivia night. I always love working that one. I give my staff a lot of credit because we usually, I think Jack and Cassidy have kind of created the questions on their own. And they actually do quite a good job. They're challenging for the kids and actually challenging for the parents too. It's a good mix. We provide pizza and snacks, and we end up giving out some awards for the top few participants, top teams. It's $50. You can have up to 6 kids on a team, or six people on a team, and registration is ongoing right now. Just a reminder that the farmers market is still taking place through October 14th on Thursdays at the Century Park South parking lot from 3 to 7 p.m. And finally, I just want to give a shout out to our camp kids and camp staff. Most years, Anna has put together a car wash, not every year, but most years. And her and Julie worked together on that this summer, and they did a car wash in the Family Aquatic Center parking lot. And between the marketing effort and the car cleaning effort, I think this is the best they ever did. Because I peeked out there, and I didn't even get a car wash because the line was too long. So the turnout was good. It was all donations, and they raised over $1,100. Which will all go to the Family Scholarship Fund. So it was very much a feel-good event for our day camps. So that's my report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Tom? Commissioner Sente.
While we're in October, I was just wondering, is Fall Fest on the 29th?
Yes. I just didn't push that far out.
No, it was just so
yes.
close. I was just looking.
Yep.
And I just wanted to say with this information from Rib Fest, I don't know what we did in 2015, right? But that,
Yeah.
was just a little bit more revenue. But it also, so it just kudos that we did so well this year. I know how hard you all worked. And then also a way to keep our expenses down. Obviously, expenses go up, but our expenses are not necessarily tracking in that direction. So you have to be thoughtful about that and net it the most we ever have. I just wanted to say, just again, also to Director Fougeroux, you didn't have to go up on the stage all those times and make everyone feel well and announce different people. You could have just sat back and had fun too. And I know you did, but I saw all of you just running around doing a lot of work, and it made the community really have a nice time. And so I just wanted to say thank you. It was special.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, Finance and HR Superintendent Marla DeZico. Marla?
Evening. Just a couple items I wanted to bring forward tonight. The fiscal 21 audit field work was completed the week of August 9th. That has gone well, and we are expecting the first draft of the audit on September 3rd, and then presentation at the September board meeting. And then I just wanted to take a moment to talk about, we're very excited that we have moved our registration software. It's about 90% moved now from Max Galaxy to ActiveNet. There has been a really good response from both staff and from residents. On both sides, they feel it's more intuitive and easier to use. One of the best features has been this GIS behind the scenes, because no longer do residents need to come in once a year with their proof of residency. Now the system through the GIS just recognizes their address and knows if they're a resident or not. So that's a great customer service tool. And I think you'll just see over time, as we get better using their features, et cetera, that it's just going to be a much better experience for the residents. So if you have any feedback, or if you're on there, please let us know. And I definitely want to give a shout out. We've had such a team effort at the Park District getting all this work done. It's been a lot of work for everyone on top of their regular work. So Randy, Mary, Jenny, Lacey, Patty, Elise, Pat, and I'm sure I'm missing people, but everyone really pitched in and was working hard and is still working hard on it. So thank you. And Veronica.
Victoria. Veronica. I worried at the last minute and then said it wrong.
Any other questions for Marla? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, Executive Director Jeff Fougeroux. Jeff?
Okay, well, we mixed it up a little bit this meeting, so usually, I hope you like that, because it's, just keeps everybody, I think, fresh. I just want to start with just the Rib Fest. I think, if we require all of our full-time staff to take a shift, as part of just their employment here. And so unless you've got a really, really good excuse, it's something we did from day one, because we know the manpower we would have to gather if we went out to the community. And so we don't have any kind of community-wide, like Summer Celebration has an independent committee. We just do it all in-house, with Jack as kind of our lead. And so you can see here from just this spreadsheet with the history that, we had a decent surplus, and all those funds get funneled back into our family scholarship program. So what you see there from just that is going to help, somewhere over 20 families that'll receive some kind of financial support from the district for programs like after school or day camp or preschool. So I think therein lies I think the messaging we've really enveloped over the last several years to encourage people, this is what your $5, gate fee goes towards, and trying to really work at keeping the cost down. The thing this year we did was, we reduced our entertainment expense, and I think it still was a really good entertainment for what, we put out there. Obviously, our gate, receipts helped a lot. But, this past week was so hot, the prior week, and it just, to me, when you're out there and you see our park staff and, 100-degree heat and the manual labor they're having to put forth to put this event on, just sweating profusely, and it just brings joy to you, when you see just the team effort that they do in pulling this event together. And then working with the village. I mean, so this cooperative spirit between Public Works and our Parks Department to just do all that effort. So by the time we come out as staff and we have these assigned tasks, whatever they are, they just seem, so a little bit less invasive, less minuscule than what these guys are doing. So I really wanted to just pay special tribute to our Parks Department and taking the lead in what James has done with everything. So that on top of just seeing everybody get together and pull this event off was really neat. So on that note, a lot of the stuff in my report, I just wanted to, Kevin Timoney, who's our village manager, wanted to come tonight. He set that up a while ago, not knowing he forgot that it was his wife's birthday tonight. So, so I just, I gave him a hall pass, and I think good for him to do that. For the public that are watching, again, we are, as Jessica addressed earlier, we need staff. I mean, PALS, we've got families on wait list that we cannot take care of because we can't get the staff. And it's universal. We know it. The school district is looking for staff. So we all are. And I think, it's just one of those things where we've done some things to try and incent people. We have a $250 incentive if you join us that you can get in as long as you stayed with us for a little while, you'll get that check. But right now we just want anybody and everybody that if you're interested, that's a priority for us at PALS, as well as our child care facility. We're still looking for part-time people there because we want to be able to open that facility from 6 to 6. Right now, we're limited in terms of our hours of operation because we don't have the required staff. And that's a different amenity because it's under the DCFS wing, and so there's certain statutes and procedures that we have to amend by for that. I do want to say on Wednesday, September 8th, from 9 to noon, we're going to be holding a community-wide health and wellness fair, safety fair, and that'll be over at Lakeview. Amy's heading up that effort on behalf of the district, but just if people are interested in attending that, any other board members are interested, we'll have a number of vendors on site, and we would encourage people to attend that. And then, just thanks to our athletes and coach that attended tonight on behalf of our country and what they do. And it's really nice to see two individuals that, kind of came up from the roots of programs through the Park District. And what Brian didn't tell you is, Brian is a world champion as well. And he's very modest about that. But this is a young man, I know he's just turning 40, but when he was in his mid-20s, 15 years ago, was a world champion in karate, and he's a little guy, but he's a pretty powerful guy. And John DePasquale was his coach, and you can see what John has done for a program. And John is a guy that gives back to not only all of his districts but our profession, IPRA. He's had a good successful run, and he's very kind and generous in terms of what he does and contributing back to districts. Last thing I want to say is what a beautiful banner that supports you as a backdrop tonight. So for the public, we are a national gold medal finalist, and that will be announced at the end of September in Nashville, Tennessee. We are one of 4 communities in the country that we're going to be competing against. One is a local park district, and Deerfield Park District is also a finalist. There's a community from, is it Fountain Hills,
That sounds right.
Arizona?
Fountain Hills is Arizona, yeah.
Hills, Arizona, and then I can't remember the fourth one. It's in Pennsylvania. It's a park and rec department. So this is our third year in a row, and we've had 4 prior runs at it. So let's hope this is our year, and we bring back the gold in late September.
Yay.
I'll be happy to answer any other questions that the board may have.
Any questions for Executive Director Fugero? Nope. Next item on the agenda is the Commissioner and Committee reports and communication. Being there is none, we will move to board correspondence. We have a letter this evening from David Brown. David is the Director of Public Works / Village Engineer for the Village of Vernon Hills. And it says, on behalf of the Village of Vernon Hills, I would like to extend a sincere thank you to you and the Park District for providing assistance to the village and our residents after the recent microburst on August 8th. The district's willingness to help support the village after such destruction is very much appreciated. It also speaks volumes to how both our organizations' working relationship has evolved through the years. The cleanup could not have gone as quickly and efficiently as it had it not been for your staff's additional manpower and its equipment you provided. We look forward to continued working relationship and working with you more in the future. Please be sure to share our gratitude with members of your staff. Very truly yours, David Brown. So, thank you all the staff. I know I was out and talked to some of the village maintenance guys that were taking care, and they were very, very appreciative of the help that we gave them. So, thank you to staff. Appreciate the Parks Department and everybody associated. James. Next item on the agenda, Commissioner reports. Commissioner Moline.
I don't have much. Thank you again to staff for all the work you did over Ribfest. And Jack's not here, so I want to make sure I say a special thanks to Jack. So pass that along to Jack. Not that I'm not thanking all of you as well, but I know he ran around like crazy too, and we do appreciate all that. So thank you.
Commissioner Robbins.
Nothing this evening.
Commissioner Sente.
Nothing more.
Commissioner Kessler.
Just ditto again on Ribfest and how you guys all smiled during it. Every time I saw one of you guys, you were smiling and having a good time, and that reflects well to the community, so thank you.
And finally, Commissioner Dorhofer, nothing to add to that except for thank you all for a wonderful weekend, wonderful time, and all you do. With that, could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Senti?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
President Dorhofer?
Yes, we are adjourned.